Let's take a look at how via subdivided surfaces we can rebuild this iMac and give this a nice pillow back, which is, in terms of industrial design, actually a very complicated shape. But this is super easy to do via polygon modeling. So I will make a copy of this. Control C, Control V. Here is now my copy, and then I call this actually iMac Sculpt, because this one, that should be the one which I am manually adjusting. Okay, so the first version here I actually call iMac Bevel. This was just my study object, and this will work as a reference for my sculpted object. This one I will turn off for the moment. I will select my iMac Sculpt, and then I go to here and turn off, or basically I remove the bevel modifier. Now the next steps are pretty important. I go to edit mode. I also want to save myself a lot of work. So I press A to select everything and reset the value here to 0. I go Control R, click and escape. Control R, click and escape. Then I go to point select, Z and wireframe, AA, to not select anything. And then with B, I click and drag over these areas, X, and delete them. So now we have just 1/4 of this part left. This saves us a lot of work. However, now obviously we need a whole part. So mirror modifier, X and Y. That was easy. Now we select this edge, and also the inside here, and then we crease them. We crease them because we will add a subdivision surface modifier now. Okay. Now this looks more like a TV out of the Fallout 76 or 60s time zone. Nice rounded corners. We want to tighten these corners. It's also good that we have actually our edge length turned on, because right here on the inside we want to create a corner that is nice and square. Okay, so Control R, click here, bring this to there, roughly. I don't know yet really how much. Control R, bring one up, and take a look. How does this look? We can go to object mode. Yeah, and then we see how this starts rounding a little bit more. So these two extra loop cuts, as you can see, they started tightening the corner. I would like to know how this looks compared to my initial iMac here. So this one. So in object mode, I can select this and turn this on in wire. Now I always see this as a wireframe, kind of like a 3D object, as you can see. So I can go back to my iMac Sculpt and then go to Edit and adjust everything a little bit more. With Alt and clicking on an edge, I select the whole loop. Alt Control, no Alt Option I mean. Bring this over maybe to there. And you see now this shoots over there, and this is not good. So I will try to keep it maybe there. So this is 1 inch. Let's make this, actually no, this is 0.72524. Alt click this. I have now to go to local because this object, as you remember, is slightly rotated. And then I slide this one up also to something like 724. Hold the shift key so it's easier to slide. There we are. The key is that this has to be a rectangle. Okay, a little bit too big. You see how I'm shooting over. So one more time, Alt onto this. Maybe then, what do we have here? 7.6, Alt, Option key this, slide this down, 7.6, 7.8, there, Okay, 7, 8. This is now at, this is 8, this is 7, 8. Okay. We don't have, again, we don't have to be super precise. This is all really about a quick idea. It's a form study. This starts to look good, but here, this area is rounding too much. So Control R, and then we bring one over, maybe to there. And you see that here, now the surface started to be more straight, and then it bevels or bends. And we do the same here. Same deal. We try to make these edges very close. 3.49, alt click on this. 3.47, very good. Okay, yeah. Now here's the funny thing now, or the cool thing. We can go to face select, select this, and push this a little bit back. And there we see now we are creating a very nice organic shape below or behind. And some of these edges are not really where I need them to be. So undo actually. So we go back to this and I will select all these edges together and just push this back a little bit and then see how this looks. Okay. Now this starts to look more like a Samsung TV or so. This is rather flat. I want this whole thing to be more like a pillow. So how could I do this? I will hide my bevel modifier iMac now so it's easier to see, and I go back to edit mode, go to edge select, and I will do the following. So I will select this, 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 and press X and say dissolve. And you see I just removed this stuff in there, which I don't need. Same here. X and dissolve. So now this is much, or it's less geometry. And think about it also as an arc. 1, 2, 3. So it's kind of like, you know, an ellipse. Same here. Okay. Let me undo one time till we are back to here, because you can see that we simply here have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the thing is that this one and this, they are all in the same direction. That actually straightens then this back part, which is not what I want. So maybe go to here, when we dissolve it, there you see that. Okay, if we want to clean this up and sculpt this even a little bit more, this is a really big rectangle. We can bring this over to there and bring this down to there. Okay, and select all 4. Move this a little bit further. And there you start seeing how this increasingly starts to pillow out. We can also push this a little bit more. Yeah. There you see a very quick and effective way to create those pillowed effects. Key here really is how big are these faces, or how big are these edges in relationship to each other. The more they try to be even, the better the result. Because when, for example, when they are like here, then this is very long and this is very small, and it tightens then this corner. By making these two rather the same, I have a smoother curve or transition. Okay, another cool thing, maybe at this point to show, is when we go to viewport shading madcap and then try out, for example, here this material and then rotate the view, we get nice reflections on them. This is a very good tool to see, do I have anywhere distortions on my surface, or I have the zebra lines. The zebra lines, again, if somewhere something would be really wacky, I'm on purpose trying to make something bad. Now there you could see from here this looks kind of funny, so we push this one out. And with this view there, you can see everything goes to these corners. Yeah. We will go more into how to use the zebra command. Also here you can see how the surface rounds. So there I see a tighter pattern, and then here I see a less tight pattern because the surface there is more flat. So it's a so-called analytical shader. Same here. Okay, that basically is it for how then to very quickly create a shape that, if you have to do this in Alias or so with the proper modeling tool, can take a very long time.